Hello and welcome to Cliff Reviews Art House. This time I'm reviewing the film Doors by Marclay. This is currently being screened at the White Cube Gallery at Mason's Yard in London. Now let me say that Doors is not a conventional film. Marclay is more of an artist than a filmmaker. However, I think that this is an artwork that qualifies as a film, so I felt I could review it on the channel. Doors is a 55-minute film made of short clips from many different films with people going through doors. In this way it's reminiscent of his masterpiece The Clock, which the Tate Modern showed a few years back. The Clock is a 24-hour film made up of clips from films where the time's shown on the screen, and the time shown and the duration of the film matches real time. Doors is the same idea, but it's made up of scenes where people are going in or coming out of doors. Let me start by saying that it's fantastic, well worth the visit to the White Cube to see it. What really makes this work is that he's very carefully selected the clips so that they match perfectly. Even where a man goes into the door and a woman comes out, or the scene dramatically changes on either side of the door, there's always a sense of continuity. It's so well edited, there's no point at which the transition doesn't feel seamless. I think he does this brilliantly in two ways. First, he often allows the music from one scene to overlap into another, so there's never an awkward music change. The transitions work really well. Second, there's times when it's action, times when it's suspense, times when it's comedy, or times when someone's just doing something apparently mundane. What works very well is that he matches the clips really well so that it almost feels like we're watching a continuing sequence. Even though our eyes know it's not true, it is like we're tricked into believing it's a coherent story. The film runs on a 55-minute loop and there's no beginning or end, which means that he matched the end of the final scene with the start of the first scene to make this work. I really like this little detail. There are two issues with the work that bothered me. The first issue may just be an OCD type thing that wouldn't bother other people, but if I was making this work I couldn't let this be the case. I was really interested to see if there was a consistency in terms of the side of the door that the handle's on. Mostly it is, but there were multiple occasions where the handle was on the right hand side going into it and then still on the right hand side coming out of it. As I say, this may just be a personal thing that bothers me, but I feel like this does disturb the transition if you happen to notice it. There would be such a satisfaction in making it work perfectly. The continuity in terms of this as a coherent film is so perfect that many probably wouldn't even notice, but it did bother me. The other issue I had is the repetition. A number of scenes are repeated multiple times. Now, Marclay may be having a bit of fun with this in the sense that if you don't know how long the work is, you may think you've come round to the beginning again, but then you see something completely different. That element of surprise may be something that Marclay wanted in the work. Also, there's moments when it's slightly comic that we do get the repetition, and I did hear other people titter when it happened. For me, however, I really didn't like it. I feel that one of the rules of this work should be that each clip is only used once. My own view is that it would be better if it were 45 minutes with no repetition. I don't think this is just an OCD perfectionist type thing. I do think that the film becomes a coherent feature film for me, and that's an amazing feat. I love this. It's really remarkable how all those classic clips and actors come together to make what feels like an epic Hollywood film. The repetition shatters this illusion, and I think that's really disappointing. These are tiny quibbles, however. I thoroughly enjoyed this work. It is fantastic. All in all, I highly recommend this film. It's well worth a visit to Mason's Yard. Thanks for watching. See you next time.